Okay, so we're at the end of the first month of 2023. This is the last day of January. The first month of the new year is gone. How do you feel? I think we are more optimistic than anybody else in the marketplace right now. I'm talking to people all over the place and they're scared. And we are creating our own destiny. David and I were just talking this morning. Did you do 7? No, but he did 3. That's more than he would have done if we weren't doing this, right? We're going to have a whole conversation about that today. So we cannot solve today's problems with the kind of thinking we employed when we came up with them. Isn't that true?
Yes.
Right? We get stuck. Learn as if you will live forever. Live like you will die tomorrow. We're not here for a long time, guys, right? Let's enjoy it while we can, right? Number 3, stay away from those people who try to discourage you from achieving your goals. Doesn't it matter who you surround yourself with? We're very lucky to be surrounded by the people we're surrounded with.
Your vision is your vision. Your goals are your goals. If they were somebody else's goals, if whatever you believe in, God, the universe would have given it to them and allowed them to see it too. So just because they don't see it and they try to discourage it, it wasn't their vision. It wasn't their goal.
We're going to spend a lot of time on that today. Our lives improve only when we take chances. And the first and most difficult risk we can take is to be honest with ourselves. That's a big theme for coming in this year because we're coming out of a 2.5-year funk. It's funny. I started watching stand-up. Good morning. I started watching stand-up comedy on Netflix just to pass time. And most of these shows are coming out. They're coming out on stage going, "We made it." Like we made it. We made it through a really difficult time where everything changed. And now we're trying to get back to normal, but there's no normal because everything's changed again. So our lives improve only when we take chances. And the first and most difficult risk we take is be honest with ourselves. All right. I'm not going to pick on you, David, but we had a conversation a little while ago and David's had a full-time job at Hard Rock. He's trying to get into real estate. It's hard to quit a full-time job and get into a commission-only job, right? But he's got a choice. Jump in or don't. You got to do something, right? And you did. You jumped in and you did more things yesterday than you would have done if you didn't show up. So today, let's do one more, right? It's all cool. The road to success and the road to failure are almost exactly the same. That's what you look at. Next slide. We got everybody in? Okay, so my talk today, it's funny. I get a lot of information that comes into my phone, right? I got all these apps and all these things and books and stories and it's all good. What's that? And you have everybody sends stuff. It's good. Oh, okay. So it's funny. Mom and I were going with Jeff's son had a birthday on Sunday. So my mom and my Aunt Sue went over to Jeff's house for the birthday party. And on the way home, I was thinking about the meeting we were going to do yesterday morning. And I got a message that morning. It was an audio file. And I played it to my mom and my Aunt Sue in the car. And they didn't like the tone of the voice of the speaker, but the message was good. And my mom said, how many people are thinking about now what they're going to do tomorrow to raise the level of our agents? Not a lot, right? Very few. So this is what I came up with, my little thing that popped on my thing Sunday morning. It was a woman. Her name was, I forget it now, but we were talking about comfort zone. And you've always heard, you got to get out of your comfort zone to be successful, right? And she had a whole different paradigm shift on that. So I related that to what we were talking about. We were talking about clarity, focus, actions, and accountability, right? Clarity, focus, actions, and accountability on Friday to report what we did back, right? And she had this thing, and it was about the goal is to be in your comfort zone, but most of us are not. We start out in a survival zone, which is where you are right now, right? Holy shit, I don't have an income right now. I've got to get this. I'm in survival mode, and that's not comfortable. And that's, you're uncomfortable and you're unsafe. So let's be honest with ourselves. That last slide said, the most important thing you do is be honest with yourself. Where are you? If you're in survival zone, recognize it. It's okay. Because the next step is the complacent zone. Complacency is where a lot of people are right now. We're okay where we are. It's okay. Right? We're getting by. Right? But what's the next step? The next step is your comfort zone where you're empowered and you're eager for more. That's a great place to be. I've got what I need, but I'm not lazy. I'm empowered to do more, which is a whole different perspective than a lot of people have. And that's what's really cool about our industry is you can Kim, you can amass a lot of money, right? And you're comfortable, but you don't want to just sit there and waste it. Like I'm spending all my time right now looking at investment opportunities. And I found some really cool stuff out there, right? And I got some really good people I rely on to, we're having a couple of Zoom meetings tomorrow just to look at these things, see if they're real, right? Because I'm in my comfort zone now, which is a good place to be, right? And you don't have to bust out of your comfort zone. What you have to do is expand your comfort zone, right? So I'm comfortable, but I want more. So that's what I want you guys to come across with this mastermind group that we're doing is recognize I'm in survival zone right now. I got to get by, right? And the more contacts we make, the more deals we're going to get. And all we're doing is filling a pipeline. And that pipeline is going to grow. And you're going to get to be uninspired and unmotivated. I got cash now. I'm good. But I've seen you in that position, right? I'm good, but you're really not. Let's get into the comfort zone and go for more. And then she says, how would you feel on the C pyramid, SEE, is safety is number one. So how does that relate to what we've been talking about? 6 months worth of savings of cash in the bank, right? That's called safety. So if something bad were to happen, you could be all right and not have to freak out and sell assets or something. And then 2 is self-expression, E, expression, right? Be your authentic self. We're going to see some slides about that in a minute too. And then the last is enjoyment. That's the next level. So once you are safe, then you can express your true self and then you can have enjoyment. And that's what we really want, right? That's the big ass smile we've been talking about. All right, there's my rant.
Did you want to, do you want to do Paramount?
Yes,
While
let's do
they're here?
Paramount first while they're here.
Ladies, come on up.
Well, I got all 3 of you. Yeah, come on
You'll-
stage so we can
You'll
see.
need a mic for everybody online. So just make sure you share that for whoever's going to speak, please.
Oh, thank you.
We have
Yes, I guess.
MMI.
Yes.
Misty, Megan, and India.
Oh,
Yeah, real
okay. I
close.
guess I'm not used to all this technology here. So just wanted to go back to what Craig was saying about how you guys are really kicking butt. It's no secret to which offices that I manage. So Paramount is one of them. Hillsborough Title are my other 2 offices. My office here, Paramount Title, has 45 orders as of this morning. That is the most out of both of my
Thank you.
Hillsborough Title offices. So really proud of my team. I'm not taking any credit for that. They are amazing closers and processors that I have in this office. So we do have a training coming up next week. So Megan is going to tell you guys about that. And that's really all I have. If you guys don't know, have never met me, I'm Misty Resmondo. So I'm a division manager with Florida Agency Network. I've been here almost 15 years.
Holy
So
cow.
the end of April will be 15 years. I started out processing for Amy Gregory. I was a processor. That was back in the day when she was a closer. She was the manager for the Brandon Hillsborough Title office, and she is now the president of Florida Agency Network. So
I call her Madam President.
yeah,
When I call
so,
her.
so we have both come a long way. But anyways, yeah, here's Megan.
Old age and treachery.
Good morning, everybody. So next Thursday, we are doing Title One-on-One. It will go over closing disclosures, commitments, surveys, settlement statements. I will be presenting it, so please join in. I'm sending out the flyer to Craig today after the meeting, so he'll be able to send everybody that flyer. I wanted to give you a heads up on March as well. So March, we're doing a 2-hour class and you can get credits for it. You can get your CE credits for it. It is on elder abuse and probate. So it is really hot right now on, we've had a lot of agents ask questions about it. So I will send out the link. You will have to register through Fidelity's link for it, since if you want your credits. So I will send that out as well, probably next week, so we don't confuse the 2, but go ahead and register for that early and I'll see you next Thursday.
Cool. Guys, Title 101 is, I mean, I'm embarrassed to say this. I've been a broker for 33 years now. I don't know. I still can't explain title insurance. I really can't. So it's really a good thing to just watch and do again, because we all know we get questions on this and we want to feel confident.
Bring your questions. If you have any questions, bring them to the table next Thursday and I will help and answer anything I can then. If I don't know the answer, I will get with Misty right afterwards and send you an email with the answer.
Perfect. Jeanette's asking if titles changed over, yeah, of course it changes. There's updates. We'll cover all that on Thursday.
And then everybody knows India. She is another closer in the office. She is also really amazing.
Everybody loves India.
Good morning. We are so happy. Thank you. Keep bringing your deals to us. We love it. Oh, sorry. Thank you. We love you all. Thank you.
Can you go wrong? Hey. Mr. Corigliano, Ralph, how are you, sir? We had a manager meeting yesterday and Chris brought up, hey, a lot of agents are having questions about property management because, you know, what we've done is we've created a new market is really what we've done with this become an instant investor idea. You guys have been reaching out to people saying, hey, you've got so much equity. Why don't you deploy those soldiers and buy some income property? And then the question becomes, oh shit, I bought a house. Now what do I do with it? Well, nobody wants to manage it. It's a pain in the ass, right? So we have a relationship with a company called Rent Solutions and Ralph is our liaison. So if you go to C21 Beggins, I'm sorry, go to rentsolutions.com/C21Beggins. That's our joint site. And they've got some amazing services. But Ralph, I'll let you give us a quick update because you're going to do a class with me on February 23rd, I think it is. We're going to do a whole in-depth dive on the property management system and structure. But I wanted you to know that we have resources available through Century 21 Beggins to help our customers manage their real estate when you sell them an investment property.
Gotcha.
Like, I'm just too nice. I'm not. You should see Ralph in person. He's like 6'4" and up 300 pounds. So when he comes to collect the rent, they pay. Sorry.
Yeah, I do all the dirty work. So it's a pleasure to be back. I know that, Craig and I would go back a long time. And it's great that you're inviting me back here. It's been a long time, but these meetings are really good for everybody. It gives us an opportunity to, kind of update each other on what's happening. And, I've worked with a couple different agents, a lot of different agents throughout the years at Century 21. But for the people that don't know me, my name is Ralph Corigliano. I'm the Director of New Business for Rent Solutions, which is a licensed real estate company that only specializes in property management and tenant placement. So Craig is right. There's a lot of things that we can do together. I know the market's a little bit tough right now. And as an agent, you need other options that you can provide to your owners. So that's one way, because if you have a property that's not selling, let's say, like for instance, I was working with Joe Diener on a deal. He had a property that he had listed in August. It didn't sell for about 3 months. Joe called me up. We spoke about his client. We decided to go with a rental strategy. So we listed the property. Within 30 days, we had it rented. So Joe, just to give you an update, the property is rented. We're going to be moving in a tenant on this week. And, the owner's very happy because it happened very quickly. He wasn't able to sell it, but he was able to turn it around and get it rented. So now he's getting some type of income for the property. Down the road, he still wants to sell it. So that property is going to go back to Joe Diener.
Yep.
Okay? But in the meantime, we also work together. We're your preferred property management partner. So in this case, the price of the property was $3,700 is what we rented it for.
Holy cow.
Charged a 75% tenant placement fee, which comes out to roughly about $2,700. The commission to Joe Diener is $693. He gets 25% of the first month's rental fee. Okay. And this is a beautiful home too. I mean, what's good about this one too is the tenant that's moving into the property likes it so much that he asked if if he's able to buy it. So Joe, we have other things to talk about, but
Okay.
you can see that this is one of those things where Joe was going to lose the listing, but he was able to provide a secondary option to his client, which worked out very well. And down the road, he's going to be able to resell that property again. So there's a lot of things we can do, and also the investors. I got a lot of tools that we can utilize to help some of your investors with comps when you're looking at a property, reviewing it. I can participate in working with the agent to evaluate the investment, to, provide data, comp reports, anything. So again, it's good to be back and I'm available. And yes, we're going to start doing a little bit more with Century 21. And, we look forward to 2023.
Cool.
And
Hey, Ralph, real-
if I can make a plug for Ralph, he's awesome. I've used Ralph since I've been here, so that's going on 7 years, and he's never disappointed me. He's always done a great job. And I
Well-
have gotten the houses back when they're ready to sell, so that is true. So
I'll call or text Ralph and say, hey, I'm looking at this property. What do you think it'll rent for? Right? Great resource. So this is a partnership between Century 21 and it's a mutual relationship. They don't sell houses. We don't manage houses. So it's a natural merger. And check out rentsolutions.com/C21Beggins. There's a really cute video on there about a guy going crazy trying to do all the stuff that a property manager does. And Ralph, tell me, how many properties you guys manage now? I think you're 1,400 last time I heard.
Yeah, we're down to 1,300. During that hot point in 2022, there was a lot of people selling.
Right.
So we're down to 1,300 properties. We have 7 property managers. We have 8 rental specialists that just concentrate on, renting the properties for the owners and updating them weekly. So yeah, just like Craig said, it's property management is not easy. It's a lot of work, and we're here to do the heavy lifting for you. So if you need any help in property management, don't hesitate to contact me anytime.
Yep. And Ralph's contact information is on the chat there. You can
Ralph,
use phone number.
what's your preferred contact method, Ralph? Do you prefer people email you, text you, call you? I have your phone number and your email and the Rent Solutions website in the chat, but what's your preferred method for someone?
Preferred would be the Ralph C at rentsolutions.com.
And that's in the chat for you, Ralph C at rentsolutions.com. Shoot him an email.
That's what I did yesterday. I emailed him, boom, and then I texted him and I said, check your email. Sorry. Sometimes I gotta get things done. Thank you, Ralph. We look forward to training with you next month.
All right.
Okay.
Have a great day.
What's that?
Ralph's phone number 380-8057,
Next
but
slide.
also Ralph C
At
at
rentsolutions.com.
rentsolutions.com. It's in the chat.
So a friend of mine named Terry Swanson is a broker at Century 21 Results Realty. And he texted me last night and said, F you. And I'm like, what does that mean? We beat them. So the rankings came out yesterday. So we're number 12 in the US. Century 21 Beggins Enterprises, Apollo Beach, nationwide, we're number 12. Results Realty, my friend Terry is number 14. So I didn't even know the rankings came out, but he's been watching it. And I told him we're going to have one hell of a December, dudes, because he was ahead of us. Not that there's any competition going on, but we're number 12 in the country, guys. There's like 2,000 offices in the US of Century 21, and we're number 12.
This is really cool though. Look at what's ahead of us. The 11 offices ahead of us. The majority of them have 20 offices, 51 offices, 34 offices, 32, 45, 60. A lot of the people that are ahead of us have much larger companies. So with us with 8 offices, well, 9 altogether, including BE3, to be able to be here in the top 12, that's awesome.
We'll go to the next slide. Because in Florida, we're number 1, but look at the margin. $23 million to $10 million. More than double our closest competitor. You guys rock, huh? They're available on 21 online. You just go check rankings.
I'm sure Mike will create some type of post, graphic,
post.
email, text message, banner, billboard. He'll have everything ready for you. He'll even have it so you can put it on a park bench.
Actually, I was on a group text with Jeff and Terry, and you saw the FU post, right? So we're hoping, because there's also a global ranking, and we fell out of the global. We were number 22 in the world, and they only posted the global 21. So worldwide, I don't know where we are this year. I think being number 12, because we were number 15 last year. So we jumped up to number 12, which is huge. So
And it's
we might
really
very
cool
well-
when you go to 121. So this is what's really good. You go to 121 in March, and they have the Global 21, and they usually have some type of hall, or like the Hollywood Walk of Fame, like with the stars. They usually put the Global 21 on the wall on the floor somewhere. They do something really cool like that. And it's just neat to be able to walk by and to see that, to see your company in the top 21 in the world over, what is it, 8,600 offices, 9,000 offices
9,000
now.
Yep.
Top 21 out of over 9,000 offices. So we're really pushing for that. We'll wait for that number.
Special place. Cool stuff. All right, next on deck, we did Paramount, we did Rent Solutions Manager reports. So what I asked everybody to do yesterday was, I'm excited about this mastermind. I mean, it's really creating a difference in my world. So I asked the managers to talk to different agents that are benefiting. And who wants to go first? Stop sharing and see the faces. Mr. Puma, why don't you go first? Oh, look, you took advantage. There's a new app. So there's these things on Zoom on the right-hand side. There's new apps that came out, and it's called AI something.
It's
I forget,
Warmly.
but Mike did it.
No, that app is called Warmly.
Yep. But see, it says Mike Puma, Chief Marketing. It's just nice. You can brand yourself on your Zoom call. I do a lot of Zooms. You guys should be doing more Zooms too. So let's make your presence good. Let's stop being iPhone and let's put your name on and a good picture. Okay, Mike, sorry.
Yeah, no. So I talked with a couple different agents who've been attending the mastermind, and both had similar feedback, right? They said that it did help them get really clear on what they were working towards, and the additional accountability has been crucial. But both of them said the same thing, which I thought was interesting, which was they realized that they still need to be more consistent, right? Which is what I said on day one was my goal for everyone, was to be more consistent. But the nice thing that I think the mastermind is doing for everyone is it helps paint the picture of what am I actually capable of and what am I actually doing? Because if you're not actually taking action, everything's hypothetical, right? If you go to lift in the gym, you might think you're strong, but then you start to lift and you realize, wait a minute, I'm not as strong as I thought. So this is pushing you to figure out, what are you actually accomplishing? And how much more are you leaving in the tank, right? How much more do you have? What are you actually capable of? And both of them, it essentially, it's creating self-awareness. They both have realized that, yes, they're getting good results, and both of them are getting really good results, but they're still not even close to tapping what they're capable of. And so that was really interesting to see both of them kind of come to that realization. And so I'm pumped for them, but they both said the same thing, that they think the mastermind has been crucial so far this year in holding them accountable and getting them out of their comfort zone. One of them even started making cold calls. She was terrified to pick up the phone, but now she's actually started making cold calls. She's got 2 deals pending. So really, really excited for them.
Awesome. Kathleen, what say ye?
Hey, good morning, everybody. You know, it's pretty much along the same lines of what Mike just said. More meaningful conversations, connections, getting out of that comfort zone and really stretching. You know, we did an example over here in Sarasota with exercise bands. You know, when you start working with exercise bands, you only go so far and you have to keep at it. Much like what Mike is saying about the weights, it's the same thing. We're helping them with the heavy lifting, and the clarity and sharpening their focus and skills is what I'm getting back and feedback. And now they feel like they have more of an impetus to implement action. I think that's it in a nutshell. Truly, it's just being able to pull up and sharpen. And now that they have their focus, they're diving in. So Mastermind seems like it's really become a great series.
Love it. Thomas, how about you?
Good morning. So we talk about clarity, and the young lady that I spoke to, Louisa, showed about her mindset and really just focusing on her goals. In turn, it helps her focus on it. But one of the biggest things that her takeaway was the accountability, because on Monday and Friday, she knows she has to speak on what she's accomplished or not accomplished. So that holds her accountable, and she really likes that.
Awesome. And she's very articulate too. She did a good job yesterday. Mr. Diener?
Good morning. Good morning. The clarity.
You muted, Joe.
Joe, you muted yourself.
Sorry about that. There we go. I put my little piece of paper on the computer and it muted. I'll third the
Sort of.
motion on the clarity. Everybody really felt that the mastermind had made them clear and focus. The focus part really was very beneficial for them in the sense of it really helped them focus on the part of the business that was really going to benefit them the most this year, and not to waste time on things. We spent 2 years, squirrel. I mean, there's so many things, so many things that were bombarding us at the same time, trying to get everybody under contract and work.
Frozen.
No, he's frozen. Yep, he's frozen, solid. It's 85 degrees out.
Yeah.
Jeff, you want to add any comments to the clarity statement?
I'll just give you a good example. Tammy, I don't know if I think she is online right now. I was talking with her. It's a good example. I think I mentioned this to you yesterday. She's got a sphere that's got a nice property in Seminole, almost an acre, just about an acre. Real nice, one house, big sprawling land, and it's hard to comp, right? Because this is an area where there's a lot of cookie cutter quarter acre lots, so it's less than quarter acres, and it's hard to comp this and justify this one. So she was asking me, how should we price this thing? I said, well, let's look at what it is, because everything's a micro market, right? So now she goes, do you think we should try to lot split this and turn it into 2 smaller lots? I said, well, if you do, now you're becoming what everybody else is. And why don't we embrace the micro market that we have? Because there's a lot of people that would love to have an acre of property in Seminole. And is it in the city or is it unincorporated? It's unincorporated, it's in the county. I said, okay, well then what can I do with it? That's the first question someone's going to ask. So she went along, did her due diligence, called the county and figured out, well, what can I do? I said, can you put ADUs? What can we do? I mean, who's the buyer for this? When somebody can have a business, somebody can do what they want. Could we put mother-in-law suites? Could we put an Annie quarter? Could we put an Airbnb? What could we do? And so doing her research, she figured out what else we could do with that property from a marketing perspective. And we were originally going to go in, I think it was around $750 for the lot, for the house. And now through her research, she's realized it's worth at least a couple $100,000 more than that because of the uses on there. So I said, that's phenomenal agenting for thinking back and saying, okay, everything's supply and demand, right? So what are we really competing with? Who are our biggest competitors in this marketplace right now? Then how do we align with those? And what can we do to make sure we're more attractive? It's either value or price, right? So she did a really good job going that extra level. That's going to make the seller a couple $100 extra grand, who was happy making the 700-ish is going to be really happy making 900-ish. And she did a great job, which is going to expand her testimonials and her repeat and referral business. But it's really going that extra step and taking care of agency and doing the right thing. So that was a great example I wanted to share.
Yeah, so clarity extends beyond just your personal goals, right? And that's a really good example because there's so many different things.
Yep.
Chris, how about you? You have an agent that you?
Yeah, I spoke with one yesterday who's been on every call, and this agent has been with us for a couple of years and hasn't really gotten her tires moving and gotten the traction that she's needed and wanted. And this is a perfect example of there was no clarity, there was no accountability, there was no focus, therefore there was no action. Yet she beat herself up for not taking action over the last 1.5 to 2 years. Why am I not taking action? Why am I not doing this? Why am I not this? Why am I not that? Until at some point she decided that there's got to be something more. There's got to be something different, and focused on the clarity side of it, and something hit her. And you realize that we're not just driven by the cool big ass smile things, but we're also driven by pain. We're driven by pain and pleasure, both to the same extent. So it's a lot of times more by pain. So this woman had a goal for the last 2 years of taking her family on a vacation in the wintertime. And I want my kids to see snow. I've never seen snow. We're going to take them on this awesome vacation. It's going to be really cool. And that was a big ass smile goal, but nothing ever happened with the focus. Nothing ever happened with the action. Nothing ever happened with the accountability until more clarity came in and said, holy shit, I need something more. If something ever happened to my husband, I would be dead in the water. I want something of my own. I need to do this. This is what I want. This is what I'm going to do. Yes, this is going to make me smile and do this, but this is a real reason why I'm doing it. Got some real clarity there and started taking that action and showing up. But it wasn't until there was that opening of the mastermind group to have the accountability, to spur her on with the clarity, and then someone that was going to help define some more of those actions. And then she didn't want to be the one who didn't do it every week. every single week she gets on that call and she didn't want to be the one that had to say, even if it was to herself, damn, I didn't do what I said I was going to do. She felt like everybody would be looking at her screen every time somebody said, well, tell me about who did what they were supposed to do. And all of a sudden you hide behind your screen and you don't want to pop out. So it was just really cool to hear that, hear all of those steps, the clarity, the focus, the action, and accountability, how it all comes together and how every single piece has an integral part. And that's what's really driven everything together to get those, to get the results that she's getting, which she's got a listing coming on the market next month. She's got another FSBO that she's working with, a buyer in her pipeline, and another buyer that she's working on right now. So just from taking those actions.
Because of my mail.
Your mail was
This one, sorry.
And Craig, from more from the beaches, I reached out to some of our newer agents and especially a couple that haven't even had their first deal yet. And Keisha Bell, who has been just tirelessly doing everything. We coach continually. She said that you and Jeff inspired her. She was inspired to pitch to a woman who's divorcing her husband. And she allowed her to come in and talk with her. And she's going to try to get the husband to meet with them as well. But she said she literally could hear you and Jeff in her mind saying, go for it, go for it. And Mitzi, who's new to our Indian Rocks Beach office, there's several things that she's been taken away from the meeting, and she's with us here today at the Madeira Beach office. One of them being that this is not just a job to pay bills, but it's something that she now sees that she can set goals for to pay off the debt, to have the savings like you've been talking about. And she calls it Dave Ramsey style. So I like that a lot. And Chris and Sarah have been doing something that I kind of mentioned on Friday, which is if you feel that you need to come out of your comfort zone a little bit, team up with somebody. So Chris and Sarah have teamed up and they're doing some things. And he mentioned how Deborah Weiser had said that, she was a little uncomfortable at first to door knock, but now she feels like she has mastered that. So I was really happy to hear that. And then Amy Bowles, who is one of our continuing top producers at Indian Rocks Beach office, is on this, and she is loving the daily action plan. She loves it. She says it's holding her accountable to doing the 7 connections a day. We pushed her out of her comfort zone, and she did a video text of herself, which she would never have done before. And listening to other people, a lot of people said that listening to other people's struggles and the successes that they've had by going the extra mile here has really given them the courage to step out of their comfort zone and do other things. So I was really, really pleased with those reports.
Man, I'm really pleased with all these reports. That's fantastic.
Uh-huh.
Nice. Ashley said she's got computer issues. That was my text I just got. So very good. So makes sense, right? Join in. Let's participate. I love what Missy said. It's a difference because Paramount Title is killing everybody else because we have more sales. Next slide is right here.
But it's really cool though, when you guys do join in and we have new faces and new people sharing, even if it's only one thing that you did and you got a result, it's really cool to hear that because it inspires everybody else. Every time somebody says something that they did, every time somebody talks about something they overcame or a result they got, it really inspires other people. So if you get on that call, please do me a favor and share with me your one success on that call on Mondays and Fridays. One of your successes, just share one. You don't have to tell me what you didn't do or how much you didn't hit the goal or you tried, but didn't this. Tell me the one success that you had, even if it was, I got out of my comfort zone and I made those 2 calls this week. And one of those calls was an amazing conversation. Just share with people because people need to hear that.
It's like a light bulb goes off. I can see like a cartoon figure with light bulb goes off. So you just said it, Julie. Deborah Weiser inspired a lot of people the other day. She just got up and did it. Louisa inspired a lot of people the other day. So you'll hear from not just us, you'll hear from yourselves doing things that make a difference. It's really cool. All right. So we're down to 177 listings now. We had 187 last week. So it's going the wrong direction. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's good and bad. It means our listings are selling, which most people's aren't. So our listings are selling, but we're going the wrong direction. So our focus should be on,
Listings.
there you go, just to make sure we're clear. We took 94 listings this month so far, which is a lot, guys. It's a lot. 40 are already sold. I've got reporters calling me a lot right now saying what's going on in the market. And I tell them, they go, what? Nobody else is talking like that. I said, that's what we're doing. Sales 129. We usually do about 90 sales in the entire month. Did you see the hot sheet? I think next in my email. Angelique sent me a hot sheet this morning because it didn't work yesterday. We had 22 contracts yesterday that were processed. So that's over the weekend. 22 in a day. We haven't seen hot sheets like that. We've been 6 to 9 a day, which is good. But 22, holy sugar. $1.4 million in open sales. And that's going to be, this 22 will hit today. So that'll be, close to $2 million by the time we're done, which is an incredible January. Closings, we only had 76 for $8.99, but we got 54 more to close today. Ain't gonna happen. But they're gonna be very busy. And 20 of our 54 that are pending to close are past closing dates. So that's when every week I say this, right? Extend them or cancel them and put it back on the market. We can't have 20 contracts past closing. It's just irresponsible. And just be proud again, top workplaces, 14 years in a row. That's just amazing. So thank you guys. Sarasota, Angela was our OTL, we call him, and she decided to become a stay-at-home mom and support her husband, Martin, who works for us. So she's going to get her license, and she stepped down, and Lorene Gauthier has stepped into the OTL position. And Lorene was a manager for Century 21 All Aces, I think it was, when I hired her 4 or 5 years ago. And she became an agent. She reinvented herself, became a great agent, but she wants to get back into staff now. So she's got all that background. She's really going to help out Kathleen in Sarasota. Did we open my mail? Yep. I got a couple things in there. Just pictures because I want to see. Hot sheet. Look at this. 22 contracts open sides for the weekend. Cheers. That's awesome. Starred Susie. Here we go. That's our top agent luncheon, right? That's going to be a cool place to go. Just a couple hours to chill in the sun, having some cocktails, have a DJ, got a band. You guys are high-fiving. Yeah. So Q3 and Q4 winners, we didn't do last year. That's gonna be fun. Out of Tampa, a couple hours on the bay. That'll be cool. We did that one. I just wanted to put this out. I thought it was just funny. Well, the first text message was sent on 12/3/1992. That's when this company started, right? It took until 2005 for the number of SMS messages sent in the US to exceed 100 billion text, probably because they cost 10 cents a piece. Remember when text cost money? Then they became free, and the number since zoomed to 1 trillion in 2008 and peaked at 2.4 trillion in 2011. And since they've leveled off, we're at 2 trillion in 2021. That's 6,000 texts per person. And most of them are NAR asking you for insurance. 2 trillion texts, 6,000 texts per person with no trail. Use email, please, right, Kat?
Yes.
Mike Reichenbach asked for an update of this. Our JD Powers rewards and all these things and there's all that stuff is in the dot loop and in Moxie in our listing packages. So I just want to know these things are being consistently updated. All right, Angelique does an amazing job keeping everything updated. So this is real recent and updated, and it's all in Moxie and dot loop for your taking. So I just want to make that to your thing. This is cool too. So we want you guys to hear what we're saying. We're saying lots of cool stuff and there's good news out there, and it's hard to watch everything every day, right? So Angelique spends a lot of time taking notes on what we did and then transcribes them. And we found that there might be an app that'll do that for her, but then there's a recap email that's going out, and we're having a little challenge. This is going out through Moxie. And are you guys seeing this?
Depending on how you have your Gmail set up, sometimes you can have a primary promotions and a like another you can have it 3 separate settings depending on which
I have a
way you
social
set it up.
promotions and an inbox. and
Mine's
nothing goes in
coming
my
into
social.
my promotions. So this Moxie one is coming into my promotions. So it might be coming into your main one. It just depends on how it's reading the Moxie email, but the training recaps are still being sent out. Search your email for Angelique, check your promotions. If not, maybe check the spam. It shouldn't go there, but check it just to be certain. Oh, it's
Does it?
amazing. This is all done through Moxie. So this is the same kind of thing that your consumers see when they get your reports, your emails and the info. The thing that Jimmy sets up every day with the daily post and action items from Mike, he puts that into Moxie and he puts that in as basically a campaign type email that you can go in and grab.
And it's a good look, right? Moxie was designed to make you look better to the people that already know you. And it does a good job of that. This went out to the entire country, right? So Century 21 hired Lawrence Young, who's the chief economist for the National Association of Realtors. Pretty cool guy. I've heard of him a lot. And he's going to do a nationwide thing just for us on February 8th. But you need to RSVP. You should have all received this email. If you don't watch it, don't worry, I will. And I will take notes and you'll hear it the next day. So that's just what we did. Charity Roberts. I don't need that one. Joy has completed your 1099s. It took me 4 times to figure out how to do it because I didn't RTFE, read the freaking email, right? It's your first 4 letters of your name. Jackie, yours is easy. And then the last 4 of your social. You type in the first 4 and the last 4, and then it pops up and it opens the PDF and you have your 1099.
Just remember, if you have an LLC, you're not using your social security number. You have to use
Your
your
EIN number.
Your EIN number. It's the last 4 of your EIN, not your social. So we get a lot of emails that say, mine's not working. You have an LLC, try the EIN number. What's that? Go to your tax return, go to your emails, you can find it there.
It's
Please make sure
amazing.
you use.
Joy still has hair.
Again, read the email, please. The email gives you specific instructions and tells you exactly how to open it. And if you need help, contact your manager and we can help you out.
Don't call Joy.
Don't.
You won't talk to me when you guys call her too much. But really, I messed it up 4 times. I did BEGG in my last 4. I did like 3 different, I did it, and I read it. Oh shit, it's personally dumb. I think I sent this to you guys. I did. This is the onboarding masterminds for that Rise Network, which is the online lead conversion team. And they really have good content in their classes. So you're welcome to attend. It's a regularly scheduled thing. Just click on the link. And they'll show you, I think it's Thursdays at 11. And there's really good training in there. We pay for it. It's free to you. When did I do this? Oh, this is just a reminder. Somebody sent and said, in our listing presentation, it says, I think I did this last week, but I'll do it again. Our YouTube team puts a YouTube video together for all of your listings. Do you know that happens, right? We don't really have a YouTube team. It's an AI bot that does it all, but they take your photographs and they put them into a sound thing and a voiceover reads your description over the YouTube video, and you have a YouTube video for every one of your listings. So this is just an example of how to go there. You go to unique property websites and all your stuff is there within 21 Online, which is amazing. And so what we could do is maybe send that link out. There's an idea, and start some conversations. That's kind of cool. So we need you RSVP to luncheon. We did that. Oh, Chris, I asked you to think about the down payment assistance programs because I don't know much about them.
Yeah, we've got currently we have 2 opportunities for your buyers. I know our focus is on listings, but this is also an opportunity to get in front of more people to generate buyers who might need to sell a property. 2 programs that can get your buyers up to $25,000 in down payment assistance. 2 amazing programs. One of them is the Hometown Heroes. So they have to be in a specific field to be able to qualify for one of these programs. The other one is just a simple FHA loan with a grant that attaches to it. So that simple FHA loan, this is one of the easiest ones because anybody who qualifies for an FHA loan should qualify to possibly get one of these grants. It's $25,000 up to, so it's going to be 3.5% to 5% down payment, and they will qualify them based on their normal qualifications. So if they qualify FHA loan, they should be able to qualify for this grant. And that grant for the FHA loan never has to be repaid. So you can literally have a buyer get into a property with as little as $1,000 out of pocket to pay for the inspection and the appraisal. If you're able to get the seller to pay the closing costs, you get up to $25,000 as the down payment assistance. Your buyer only has to pay inspections and appraisals. How many people are renting a property right now who have to pay $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 just to get in for first month, last month in security? They can get in and own a home for only $1,000 to $2,000 out of pocket max if you structure it the correct way. There's some great opportunities out there, but now here's another really cool thing. This is my thought of having instant investor. How many of your buyers, how many of your people that you know own a home right now who want to invest in homes, but don't have 20%, 25% down to buy an investment property? Well, if you don't necessarily love your home, but you want to become an investor and want to house hack your way to it, qualify for the FHA down payment assistance grant. If you get qualified for that, you don't need 25% down. They will give you the down payment. You can get the seller to pay the closing costs. You move into it as your primary residence and turn your current primary residence into an investment property. Even if the other one is a higher payment, you're going to cash flow on this one. That'll help offset some of that payment. So there's a lot of opportunities to get a rental listing or to get someone who says, I'm looking to get a new home, but I really don't know what I want to do. I want to keep some of this equity. Here's a program you can get into a new home with as little as $1,000 out of pocket, sell their current listing, buy their new home. The cool part is that grant never has to be repaid. Most of these programs, you have to repay the $25,000. If you ever sell, you have to repay it. If you refinance, you have to repay it. Or it takes 5 years to repay that $25,000. It's like $3,000 a year or whatever, $5,000 a year. But what this cool one is, you can just refinance out of it within 6 months. So the interest rate's a little bit higher. It's going to be closer to 6.5% to 7%. It's probably about a point higher than a normal FHA loan, but you get $25,000 up to.
That pays a lot of interest.
And then in 6 months, you can refinance into a normal rate. You can refinance into a normal FHA loan at the lower rate, or you can refinance into a conventional rate. Your home will probably appreciate and you'll probably have enough room to refinance.
So here's my point. What good is that knowledge if you keep it in your head? Right? What we want you to do is send out meaningful content that engages people to communicate with you. Right? And then it might be a couple people in their 40s that think, my kids could use that. And there's an opportunity. So we're building markets by changing what we're doing, right? We're just creating opportunities by exchanging information. It's really amazing.
So one question was, are there income limits? I'm sure there are, but that's not your job. Your job is to get them in contact with a lender to see if it works.
Yeah, you're not trying to.
I don't need, hey, how much do you make? I want to see if I can get you $25,000. No, tell them I can get you $25,000 possibly. Why don't you talk to my lender and see what the possibilities are?
Make sure you put possibly in there.
Yeah, up
to possibly. Exactly.
There are Carla, there are down payment programs different per county, but this is not a county funds program. This is a FHA product that has a grant attached to it that goes specifically with a lender. So it's not defined for a specific county, city. As long as you qualify for an FHA loan and you have the right lender who can do that program, they can do that for you.
Cool.
Someone said she talked to the lender and there are no income limits. Credit score, obviously.
Nice. All right. I'm going to hit a couple surveys just because I'd like to call them out. And once again, I told you I do this blind. So look at my inbox. There's 3,117 real satisfied surveys in there. So these have been quarantined. What does quarantine mean? Jackie? Real satisfied surveys are guaranteed to be authentic. So if they see something funny, like Kalani sold a house and she's the email address for the buyer, it's going to flag that.
Yeah, I said I was awesome when I sold my investment.
You're the best agent in the world.
And they quarantined my survey that I gave myself.
So you can't game it. So 2 tried to game it here, and you were the best agent in the world, though.
That one wasn't quarantined. That was a real seller.
Okay, this is blind. I haven't looked at these, so I'm going to say, let's see. Lexima has been more of a partner in the process of her invaluable support and has helped me navigate this dynamic market easily. We would highly recommend Lakshmi. She made the whole process for us out of state buyers seamless and stress-free. Really appreciate all the support. That's the difference you guys are making in the marketplace. I think it's important to recognize that we have so many of these coming through. Let's do one more. Michael Tusani. I had a great experience with Michael of Century 21. As a first-time home buyer, Michael was able to help me understand the process and made a very smooth first real estate transaction. Michael was very professional, honest, and pays attention to all the small details. We would recommend to anyone, we would recommend him to anyone looking for a high-quality agent. I've even met Michael, right? So he's relatively a new guy with the Tampa office, and he's getting rave reviews. It's just amazing. It really is. But I'm running out of time because we started late. This was shocking to me last night. Our lead dropped way down. I mean, we were up at 200, almost 300 a week. This week, 107 down from 127. I don't know what's going on, but we're selling more than we ever had. So it just goes to show you internet leads are not where it's at. I think we're making the deals because we're talking to people, and that's how it works. All right. And then we got some birthdays this week. Mindy Smith, happy birthday in 3 days. Kelly Sullivan and Michael Tusani, just talked about him right now. On the second, on the third, we have Kathy Oriama. Sounds good. Jules Murphy on the fourth, Ashante Mack on the fifth, Vlad Skibitsky on the fifth, Anna Barna on the sixth, and Diane Krikorian on the sixth. So happy birth week to you all this week. And Chris always likes this one. I'd like to remind you, $165,000 gets you on the path to Centurion this year. We're only in January for one more day. Yeah, actually, Jimmy sent me the one. So that's a target for you. The path to Centurion is a big deal. There's a lot of perks and things that come along with that. So if you need help setting a goal, that's a good one to go for. And the next slide is the end. So anything for the greater good? Did I miss anybody? We good? Let's break off to our individual office meetings then. Happy Tuesday and happy January. Great job this month.